the bottom right. The last player for Team AZUBU just defeated Hurricane a few seconds ago. Now he's up against Terran. It is
AZUBU Symbol.
He has come back for his team many times before. Can he do it again?
Up against Terran player to the top left of Icarus. It is his map choice. The last player for Team FXOpen in this ace match. It is
FXOSC.
It all comes down to this. This is SC's map pick indeed. And he is a player who started the parade push style of just attacking constantly across the map with rallied barracks, making 10, 11, 12 Marines at a time, never stopping the aggression. He's a Wings of Liberty hero, and he's back in Heart of the Swarm.
He lost against the Zerg player in his up and down group. He lost to Crazy. And he also lost in the finals of his Korea WCS Korea Challenger League qualifier against Yu-Gi-Oh! With a 1-2. Symbol, on the other hand, he is great in this matchup. He has a 67% win ratio with 6 best-of-3 wins and 3 losses against Terran. But 2 of these losses were at the hands of Innovation. Right now, probably the best player in the world, or at least one of the best. So if you count those games against Innovation out, he is over 90% in this matchup.
Insane.
So,
and you know
still
what?
Heart of the Swarm with only a few games to go at, but this is a huge indicator that Symbol is a strong Zerg versus Terran player.
Color, we have gas first for SC. Looks to be going for a Reaper opening here. Has the Marine queued up first, though. Could be very fast.
That's the Reaper. Cancel it.
Yeah, cancels, goes to Reaper. And regardless, he's going to get very important information of whether or not Symbol takes gas, which is so important to know on a map like Icarus, because let's just give all the information about... Oh, did he not see?
No, he did not see. He moved in, but not far enough to see the gas. He didn't check it. He was afraid that there was a Marine first that would take him down.
Well, if he's really astute, he might knows the barracks finished late. That's the only way he can know.
He should see the Reaper.
And he will definitely see the Reaper, yeah. But what this map features is additional gold patches in the backdoor expansion and also a rich geyser. So you have a little bit more resources than you would on an ordinary map. So that comes into play here quite heavily.
Keep in mind that the third base here is very much exposed. It's very difficult for a Zerg player to get a normal timing for the third and defend it, just because it is so far away. That is always an issue on Icarus, and we see a lot of timings on this map, especially because this third is not really easily defended. For a Terran player, if you want to go into early planetary, you can pull that off, but usually we see 3 CCs, 3 orbitals before we have the first planetary out there.
Yeah. And, you know, just the Reaper gets the sky information that he did in fact take gas. He wants to know how much. He's also forced a lot of Zerglings and even a Spore cancel.
Symbol as the Queen's out. That's what he needs to fend off the Reapers here. We have already the rich gas being taken at the natural. And here comes the added factor with a second gas. So...
Hellbat's very likely.
Yeah, Hellbat's very likely. The Queen still trying to control the ramp here. And Symbol with the Overlords in position. Not only the one to the top right of the natural, also sending in another one at the bottom left, or at the left side of the map, checking for drops.
And, you know, SC was not able to confirm how many drones were still mining in the gas. So that Reaper is good on other maps for this, but on this map, there's only really one place he can jump up. It's right here, and the Queen was controlling that. Now he's going to come in, though, and click on that extractor. You'll see it's 2340 right now, which means not hyper-fast aggression.
The Zerglings want to cut off the retreat path, and the extra Queen is already moving in. The Reaper not going to make it.
Yeah.
And here comes the Armory, of course. The Hellbat follow-up. That's what we are used to see from Terran players. This is what Symbol has faced countless times in ladders and tournaments. And he goes for the Roach Warren. Good for the defense here, and also good for aggression. 2-base timings are very common on this map.
Yeah, what we may see here is he hits a 2-base timing very quickly, and he has to defend at home the Hellion aggression while he's attacking. We've seen that several times on this map already in this season. Uh-oh.
Bunker has been spotted, speed comes into play, and Symbol does what a lot of Zerg players do these days, going into the speed upgrade for the Overlords to get the extra scouting information to see exactly what happens here, and we have him taking this exposed third.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. And against Hellbats especially, this can be quite difficult to deal with. And as the game goes later, just ground pushes.
Hellbats and Widow Mines, and Marauders also on the production tab. Supernova has played this style earlier on against Lenog and was successful, was defeated by Lucky later on.
Yeah, it's a very scary style. Stim comes out as well, so he's going to have that follow-up ready. The Hellions will scout the third, and this means that SC is going to be able to react and start different types of follow-ups. He could add now 2 or 3 barracks and try to be really aggressive by ground.
We have another double evolution chamber coming up. So far there is no tech into Leia, so he has very early upgrades available to him. Even the Spore Crawlers now, since he knows, okay, well, there should be a couple of Widow Mines with this, so I need the detection just to be on the safe side. Covering all his bases here, quite literally, and getting the extra queens out as well. But not utilizing there is the tech into Leia. And you know, I could actually see him hitting this timing on 3 bases with roaches, and sometimes you get the additional banelings, but the roaches alone with +1/+1 upgrades are devastating here. That's when you get the 3rd base, but you don't saturate it.
Exactly. You just use it for... You can put a few drones there, but mostly it's the production, and it also kind of misleads your opponent.
We have the armor upgrade, but the 2nd evolution chamber is not being used just yet.
Yeah, it doesn't have the resources just yet. And the Hellbat drop spotted a mile away. Shut down easily by Symbol.
Yeah. Those early hit points that the Medivac loses here, they are really significant. And if you want to boost in again, then you're in a little bit of trouble.
SC is just going to do that same push we saw Supernova do. He's going to do the exact same thing here with Stim, Marauders. He's going to have concussive shells after Stim is done.
And there's the attack upgrade. Attack upgrade, and we should see speed coming up as soon as the hatch finishes.
Absolutely. As soon as that layer is done, he's going to start it. This is definitely starting to look more and more like that timing. There it is. Starts it immediately.
And this is a very TSL timing. This is something that Hyun loves to do. Hyun and Symbol, they talk a lot. They're good friends. They have been friends since their TSL times, even before that. And they are talking a lot about these games. 3 Overlords coming up. That's what you want. You want to have the extra supply. The upgrades are lining up quite well. He needs to get the roaches out.
And everything is lining up perfectly for SC as well. Don't forget, he has Stim done. He's coming across the map with the Marauders. And we are going to have the clash of Titans here. Roach speed and those upgrades for the roaches are not going to be done, but he does have a few of them already out and a lot of them on the way.
And he has the better position on top of that ramp, on top of that choke point with the concave that he needs.
Yeah, and now SC has to walk around, and this is buying very, very important time for Symbol right now.
Getting those upgrades out for Symbol really important. Halfway done now with the Roach. Be going into +1/+1. We have the combat shield not ready for SC just yet. He's scanning ahead. He wants to know what's happening here. He wants to take down those creep tumors moving in, but he sees that he just can't right now.
Yeah, he starts in the barracks, and I think that SC may call off the attack. But he's gonna try to drop. He's gonna go home and make a 3rd command center.
Symbol also realizing that he might not want to hit this timing. He saw that, okay, there's so much already. You are trying to hit a timing and attack me. You have a lot more units on the map that I would want. You also have a lot of Marauders already. So maybe I can make this happen, but I don't think that I can really kill you here. So he falls back into the drone production and starts additional tech with the Infestation Pit, just realizing that this is not gonna be that time when he just moves in with the upgrades and takes the game.
Yeah, both players playing cautiously here. Icarus usually a map of ramps butting heads, but in this case, they've kind of passively moved back. They're going to tech up. We have +1 now coming out for those Hellbats. Still no planetary, still no 3rd command center placed down for SC.
Early pathogen glance here for Symbol, and that just shows that he knows exactly what he's up against. He saw how much early players struggle against it, especially Leonok. Without the fungal, the hit and run, the kiting of Supernova did so much against it, so he knows I need fungal against this. This is what I need right now, and he's building it. He's getting the roaches out. He's getting the upgrade. We will see Infestors, and as soon as he can fungal this army, he can just close the distance and move in and take this.
But man, SC, he's doing his parade push. He's got the barracks ready. He has no plans of taking the 3rd command center. He's got concussive shells on the way. His armor upgrade stimming here, but there's a beautiful concave for Symbol. The Widow Mine's helping out, but does he have enough?
I think he just might have with the reinforcements that are now streaming in. The pathogen dance is done,
but
there are no
close.
Infestors. But he has too many roaches just moving in. They are one upgrades. And he realized he has to back off, and he does.
And this is horrible for SC because now he doesn't have a 3rd command center. He wanted to hit this timing. It did not work. And Symbol, he's got the better tech.
And Symbol is going into a 4th base already. Here comes a Doom drop, an attempted Doom drop. SC is trying to go into the main base, but now the Infestors are already on the way. We have those Medivacs moving in. The Overlord saw it. Symbol is moving back to his base. He has to defend now.
Not a lot of units in these Medivacs, and even if he gets the spawning pool here, it's not too significant. And he doesn't even get it. He doesn't get it. The transfuses are good.
Oh my god, SC in so much trouble. 20 supply behind his opponent. The spawning pool is being built as a safety net, an additional one. The infestors are out. The fourth base at the bottom left is nearly completed. The overlords, they are everywhere. They see the medivacs, and Symbol has the units in the game that he needs to take this win. Drones up even.
Yeah, he needs a miracle, SC does, because right now he has done nothing. And now those medivacs are flying back with their tail between their legs because he knows that the infestors are ready. He saw the infestation pit, and now he's just thinking to himself, how do I get out of this one?
And we have +2/+2 started here for Symbol. He's going into the Burrow upgrades too. This is a bad spot for the Terran player to be in.
Horrible even.
The last game of this team match, AZUBU versus FXOpen, and Symbol is taking the lead here.
He certainly is, and right now SC is desperately making siege tanks because he knows that against infestors, this type of biocomposition alone, without a whole lot of Widow Mines, is not going to cut it.
To the bottom left, the drop has spotted the base and is trying to take it out. Good
Bungle and all the medivacs, every single one.
This is horrible. The medivacs, they are so expensive. He loses 3 of them and the rest is already severely damaged. The roaches have to stream to the bottom left to take down these few bio units that are taking on the base, but losing the medivacs, even though he still has 9 left, is always a bad thing.
Yeah. SC, he's stabilizing in supply, and he does have that base landed now over there at the third, or I shouldn't say landed, but finished. Right now, Symbol is going to Hydralisk. And he will get the spawning pool, but there's a second one already, as you mentioned before.
Exactly, the second spawning pool is there, and with a Hydralisk, he will be much better set up against his opponent, Stevens. Clutch Fungal just not able to get in there.
You know, this is weird that he goes for the spawning pool anyways, because this is not a composition that really relies on Zerglings.
Don't you see all these Banelings?
No, I'm not seeing him, man.
Okay, me neither.
It's just a little bit of... He makes a third spawning pool, by the way.
Why don't we see more... I don't know why we don't see more Spore Crawlers and Spine Crawlers in the main base. With a bank that he had 1,500 just a few seconds ago, you can afford that.
You think he might just leave some Hydras there on the edge instead?
No, you don't really want to do that. Like, you kind of have to, but at the same point, this is just army supply that is missing later on, so you kind of want to crawl up. And Symbol, I mentioned this earlier, he did this against opponents in the past. I just casted games of him a few days ago, online games that he played in the RSL. And this is actually something that he probably will do later before he moves out. At least I would expect it, because it's just so dangerous for him to not to. And there it is. Starting additional 3 Spine Crawlers and Spore Crawlers, I feel that he's even commit more than only those.
Yeah. Right now his worker count is at 67, so he's going to have to make this balance. But SC is getting close to maxed. He's going to have 2-2 relatively soon, and this game is not over yet. He has really stabilized here. For a moment it looked like he might be down for the count. And he has a few siege tanks here.
Yeah.
There's no mutas, obviously, with this.
Splits are going to be important if Fungals hit that army. Yes, there are no Banelings, but that's going to be a lot of damage done anyways. Hive Tech is on the way. First Fungal is good. The rest of the army moving in, and the Fungals are great!
He just continues to chain Bungle here. Another stim, and this may be the end.
The reinforcements for Symbol will be on the way very soon. He has the bank to immediately rebuild his entire army. And he has Hive Tech nearly completed, Hydralisk and Roaches. That's his unit composition here. And it's good enough against what SC has because the numbers are highly in his favor.
Yeah, only a few siege tanks left. He has the Roaches to tank. Beautiful concave here, and the Fungals are excellent again.
He could try to chain Fungal now. Even the Medivacs, he boosts away. But the siege tanks, they are gone. 120 supply against 200, and there are spines and spores everywhere, making sure that drop is not going to be a problem. Even now, a Spire coming up because he can.
Yeah, and at this point in time, SC, you know, he's got... I mean, that was the only card he had up his sleeve. Now he's got nothing. He's out of options here. Now he has to desperately try to defend. Fungals again, very nicely done. Hydra's doing the extra damage from behind, and it looks like SC may be down for the count. SCV's being pulled off the line to fight the investors, but I think he's dead.
He's trying desperately to hold on to this game, but it does not look like he will able to prevail here. He's just down 100 supply already. He's losing everything. Now the medivacs are being taken out here, and those infestors, they are still alive. They are moving in. Infested Terrans on the siege check.
GG Symbol. He does it. He cleans it up. Wow. Excellent, excellent play by both players, but Symbol, he is the one who prevails. On his opponent's map pick on Icarus, he makes very careful, cautious decisions, decides not to go for the Roach push.
Look at that team bench. They know how important this was. They know how important this game today was. FXOpen is up against the Prime team next week, and if history repeats itself, then Prime will get crushed. Everyone hopes, of course, that the players of Prime will finally be able to transition much better to Heart of the Swarm, but right now FXOpen has the better match on the last play day, and AZUBU, they knew that. So right now they get an edge in the indicator over FXOpen, and the next week is gonna show so much. They're not out just yet. FXOpen is not out just yet.
No, they're not out just yet. They, though, are not in control of their fate entirely. They're only in control of half of their fate.
Yeah.
They have to beat Prime, which a lot of people expect them to, but that's not the only thing they need.
It's also how you beat them. That's one of those things. And another thing is, like, let's say there are so many possible scenarios. Even if, for example, let's say Prime takes 3 wins against FXOpen and then AZUBU does not get all killed, then still AZUBU would be the game to advance because they have the better indicator, even though they are on the same match score.
Yeah.
So many scenarios that could unfold next week. We still have 3 teams that could go into the playoffs, but we only have 2 spots left. We have StarTale, we have AZUBU, and we have FXOpen. And in the next week, we have such crazy games. FXOpen against Prime, as you said. We have StarTale versus LGIM, and most of all, AZUBU versus MVP. And this is then a match where really every single map counts. Even if you don't win the game, the indicator is everything.
Yeah. And so AZUBU takes the win here, but they don't get a huge advantage from the indicator. Yeah. It's only a +1 that they get out of this. But of course, this means that if they win their next match, they are still in control.
They are currently on a +2 indicator. StarTale is on a +1. So AZUBU has the best spot going into the next match day. But they are up against Team MVP. Then we have StarTale. And the worst situation is for FXOpen because they are currently down a match.
Well, let's take a look at this interview. We get to hear from, of course, the coach. And the most likely symbol, I feel, is definitely going to be MVP.
So he's just saying when Genius lost that he thought they would lose the match today, but thanks to sleep, they were able to come back.
이 김성환 선수의 그 투입이
I don't know about that.
감독 입장에서는 뭐 아니면 백도가 될 수도 있는 상황이었거든요. 모든 비난의 화살이 이승춘 감독이 받을 수 있었던 상황인데
that's an achievement, but I feel the player who really put them back on track, that was more simple.
Yeah, maybe he means the, you know, just the turning scoreboard, or the turning point, right? Sleep was kind of a new player, he says, but he trusted in him, even though he was a new player in the GSTL, so not a whole lot of GSTL experience just yet, but still trusts him. We don't have a lot of Protoss players, so he prepared Sleep as kind of the sniper, and he did his job.
그렇죠. 큰일 날 뻔했습니다. 네, 자 그러지 이어서 강동현 선수의 이야기를 한번 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
He was very nervous sending out Sleep because if Sleep loses, then because then he would be trolled by all the other people out there, especially by the other
오늘
coaches.
경기 그게 또 징크스가 될 수 있었던 상황이거든요. 예, 어떠셨는지.
I mean, we could talk this to death. I personally don't think that Sleep was a great choice because of the players that he still had on the bench, but he took the win. It was just a gamble because the situation that we're in the team.
Right.
Simla's of course the MVP here.
Yeah, he's very happy he was able to win the GSTL. It's been a long time since he was able to do that.
정말 힘든 분위기였는데 오늘
And he
경기에서
says he's actually even more happy to win today than advancing into the round of the 16 at the start of the week, he says.
자, 경기 임하는 각오한 말씀 우선
This was an important
선수에게
match.
들어보도록 하겠습니다.
A lot was riding on that match.
MVP가 지금 1위 팀인데 굉장히 잘하는 팀이라 생각하니까
Of course, next
열심히
match they're up against
준비해가지고
MVP.
1패
It's currently mentioned that MVP is currently on the 3rd place, so they are going to prepare really hard to play well against them.
오늘 진짜 죽다 살아난 경기였습니다. 좀 이제 한숨 여유를 찾게 되고 이제 마지막 경기를 이제 임하셔야 되는데 각오한 말씀 부탁드리죠.
The highest team this season, first place by far.
그래서
Nobody can touch them.
다음 주 다른 팀들 간의 그
Even
경기가
if
어떻게 되는지가
they all
굉장히
kill MVP, they will still be
그때 좀
first place.
기대를 해봐야 되겠고 MVP전에서도 오늘 이겼듯이 강동현 선수 이제
So he's saying we have to win next week, and we have to, you know, look at the other matches as well, because if they lose next week, then it's all about the other team's indicators, as you were describing earlier.
그때 기대해 주세요.
야, 진짜 임성춘 감독이 저렇게 활짝 웃는 모습 처음 봅니다. 그래서 최근에 지금 마음고생이
He's also happy that
많이
Sybil won against the
알렸네요.
Protoss player, and he proved himself that he still can win the CDP. But we talked earlier about Sybil statistics and how to perform against Protoss. Not the best, but yeah, that was kind of one of those comeback moments that he had there.
줄이고 있습니다. 밸런스를 맞추기 위해서.
And, you know, as usual, that Super Coach smile.
오늘 경기의 승리에 다시 한번 축하드립니다. 자, 우리 세 끼씩 지금 밥을 먹고 있는 최종격
Bungboongi
선수들이
says
그렇죠. 나중에는 3킬씩 하겠죠.
3 times as much as anyone
다시
else
한번
in
오늘
the team
승리를
house, which
축하드립니다. 자, 이렇게 오늘 경기
is
마무리가
actually
됐습니다.
what
경기 결과를
everybody has kind of
정리해드리겠습니다.
come to expect from Boomboong from his celebrations.
오늘 단두대
And
매치
let's take a look at, of course, how things came to be today. We talked about the results already, but we started things off with Supernova taking the win off of Leenock. Lucky was able to take 2 wins after that. And then, of course, Sleep came out for the snipe.
Yeah, Sybil then later on finishing things off with 2 wins against Hurricane and against SC. Great job here, and important for the team. For FXOpen, of course, a little bit devastating to now be in this situation.
Yeah, very much a very close and exciting team match. One of my favorites this season, to be honest.
This is pretty much what we expected for yesterday's match too, that we didn't really get. Now, of course, having a look at the rankings here, that will just make things a little bit more transparent. The 3 teams at the top, MMP, XMAs, and LGM are already in the playoffs. AZUBU, StarTale, and FXOpen, they still try to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Prime and his hosts are already out.
They're out, and MVP has solidified 100% their top spot. No, actually, no, it's not true. Because if they lose to AZUBU, then they will have poorer score than Axiom Acer. But then if Axiom Acer loses their match, so it's entirely uncertain at this point.
Axiom Acer or AZUBU, one of the two will is going to advance here. Pennant race next week. We have Axiom Acer up against NS Hosa and Prime versus FXOpen. These are the 2 matches where we would expect Axiom Acer and FXOpen to take it because NS Hosa and Prime, they're out. But on the other hand, there's nothing on the line anymore for NS Hosa and Prime, so maybe they're just experimenting a little bit, and teams that don't have anything to lose are, historically speaking, very dangerous, especially when, for you, everything's still on the line, which is the case for FXOpen.
Yeah, and Prime and NS Hosa could definitely show some crazy games, that's for sure. I expect to see, even though it's going to be what most people expect to be one-sided, Prime and Hosa might try some new players we've never seen before, or try some all-ins that we've never seen before. Anything goes.
So we are done for the day, guys. Next week we have those matches that you just saw on stream in the GSTL. Keep in mind the Code A qualifier is going on Wednesday. It's going to start at 11 AM Korean Standard Time. It will be on twitch.tv/Calder. Tune in for that. Follow the Twitch stream if you want to get a notification about it. Starts on Wednesday. It's only 1 day this time, not a 2-day event. So make sure that you tune in for that. And we'll see you then. The both of us will be casting twitch.tv/Calder. See you then, and see you next week for the GSTL. Bye-bye.
No longer blinded. Wait, a minor setback. This supposed to be friend of mine. Emptied the clip on me one night when the friendly fight turned personal. Guess he wasn't my friend after all. After a brawl, hit me 3 times and I wouldn't fall. Made it through with a blessing. Karma with no confession. Believing my body armor is made of fate from the heavens. Flipped over 5 times in the van without a belt on me. Escape without a scratch. Don't know what the Lord has prepared for me. Just last summer was faced with another death to beat. MJ's deceased. I love you and may you rest.